and their hearts are free.
St. Patrick's Missionary Society and the Christians of St. Kizito Chigonika and Maria Ntandi's Kristo parishes would like to express their sincere gratitude to Archbishop George Desmond Tambala of the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, Bishop John Ryan of Nzuzu, Bishop Peter Edwin Chifukwa of Dedza, Vicar General Very Reverend Father Vincent Makwawa, Mr. Clement Stambuli, priests, sisters, religious, the Kenyan community in Malawi, Lilongwe Handling Company, Goodwill Funeral Services, neighboring parishes, Christians, friends, and everyone who provided unwavering support, material and financial assistance, and prayer during the passing on of Reverend Father Martin Kavisu and Mr. Francis Danjarimodzi. We deeply appreciate your compassion and kindness during this difficult period. Your support and services brought comfort to our hearts. May the souls of Father Martin Kavisu and Mr. Francis Danjarimodzi continue to rest in peace. Amen. Amen.
On the hills of home are calling me.
Montfort Media is pleased to inform all its valued customers that the Pope John Paul II cloth, which many were longing for, is back on the market. The price is 12,000 kwacha per 2 meters. It is available in all our bookshops, that is in Balaka, Lilongwe, Dedza, Salima, Mangochi, Zomba, Chitakale, Chikwawa, Lunzu, Mwanza, Kasungu. Please hurry while stock still lasts. Montfort Media, a Christian media house that proclaims good news in order to promote hope, love, justice, peace, and solidarity. Welcome to St. Teresa Private Nursery and Primary Schools, a place of excellency to your child's future. The enrollment is in progress for 2024, which is for the baby class, middle class, and reception for nursery, and then primary classes for standard 1 to standard 5. Bring your child to St. Teresa School because it is a good education environment for your child. It has good qualified and experienced teachers. Outdoor games are organized by Teresian sisters. The school offers suitable academic programs for your children that prepare them to be good and honest citizens of the society. A school bus is available. The school is located in Lilongwe, taking Bunda 10 off-road after police roadblock, and there you see a signpost to your left. For more information, call 0885 415 740, 0990 792 111, or 0996 251 144, or better come in person. St. Teresa Primary School, the best school for your child.
thank you for joining us right here on Luntha Television. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Jacqueline Saidi. First, headlines.
Pope Francis expresses the importance of taking responsibility in building and ensuring peace in the world. UTM set to declare status with Tonsi Alliance. Malawi to grow more than 250 million kgs of tobacco. And in other news, Nigerian president suspends humanitarian minister over corruption.
We have these and more. Stay with us. Pope Francis reflected on the conflicts and divisions ravaging the world and highlighted the responsibility of individuals and nations to foster peace. In his annual State of the World address to members of the diplomatic corps accredited to the Holy See, the Pope recalled of everyone's work and responsibility in building peace in the world as he welcomed the expanded diplomatic family in the Vatican. He thanked the ambassadors for their efforts to nurture good relations between the Holy See and their respective countries. We have a Vatican News report being read by Bernard Mwanza.
Greeting the ambassadors from throughout the globe accredited to the Holy See on Monday, Pope Francis expressed deep concern about the escalating conflicts worldwide and described the current state of affairs as a Third World War fought piecemeal, openly addressing specific geopolitical crises, recalling the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. The Holy Father condemned the October 7th attack on the Israel people and condemning the subsequent military response to that act that has led to full-scale war in Gaza, where over 22,000 people have been killed and millions injured and displaced. The Pope decried the fact that it provoked a strong Israel military response in Gaza that has led to the death of tens of thousands of Palestinians, mainly civilians, including many young people and children, and has caused an exceptionally grave humanitarian crisis and inconceivable suffering. He then called for an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and access to humanitarian aid for the Palestinian people. The Pope expressed concern for the destabilizing situation in the entire region that is clearly affected by the present conflict in Gaza. In particular, he turned his attention to the people of Syria who are living in a situation of economic and political instability aggravated by last February's earthquake. He appealed to the international community to encourage the parties involved to undertake a constructive and serious dialogue and to seek new solutions so that the Syrian people need no longer suffer as a result of international sanctions.
UTM, a party whose leader is Vice President Dr. Salos Chilima, says it will, in the coming few days, declare its status in the governing Tonsi Alliance. The development comes at a time the social media is awash with reports that there is a fierce fight in the Tonsi, mainly between its major parties, the Malawi Congress Party and UTM. UTM and Malawi Congress Party are the leading parties in the alliance, which started with 9 member parties. We have more on this report.
Secretary General for UTM, Patricia Galiati, told local media on Tuesday that the time has come for the party to declare its status in the alliance and the possible way forward. Galiati then expressed dissatisfaction with the way the MCP is treating their party, including its leader, Saulos Chilima.
We are not in the decision making because the decision making is made by the president, the one who is in front of the alliance. So we cannot even keep saying that this is what we are saying, or we cannot even initiate any meeting. Meeting can be initiated by the president to say, let's meet. So I think it's really called for us to say, we are doing this, because it's not one party. These are two parties which came together.
Commenting on the matter, good governance expert Victor Jibofia said what UTM will declare will have no impact on its followers, as they seem to know more about the ongoing wrangles.
We've all known that there's a rift between MCP and UTM. So the coming out of Patricia Kaliati to say that they'll soon declare the status is something that I think a lot of Malawians already know what kind of a position there will be taken. But whether that would have an impact on Malawian minds right now is something that I would have my reservations on. Looking at the promises that were made by both UTM and MCP.
Ton's alliance started off with 9 political parties. Currently, the number is down to 7, following the withdrawal of membership by Petra and Afford. The 2 parties have since announced that they will go solo in the next year's presidential elections. In 2022, Chirima publicly announced that the 2 parties were fighting on the issue to do with the alliance's torchbearer. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, I'm Helbert Katanda.
The Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP, says the country must look at the electoral reforms and how political parties put irrational treatment of women within their political parties if it is to achieve the 50-50 representation of men and women in electoral and political positions. In an interview with Luntha Television, CCJP National Coordinator Boniface Chibwana observed that political parties are not giving women enough leverage to participate in different positions, looking at the way primary elections and campaigns are conducted. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Zomba Malosa, Grace Kuribata, says the country must create a conducive environment for the women and put some quotas for women. We have a report by Charity Chilanga.
As the 2025 general elections approach, CCJP has renewed calls for political parties to take deliberate steps to support women and ensure the increased participation in elections and political leadership. In an interview, CCJP National Coordinator Boniface Chibwana recommended a quota system where some constituencies should be left to female candidates only. He said the country follows a first-past-the-post FPTP voting system, which mostly disadvantages women.
But if you look at elected positions, both within the political parties and at the national level, you find less numbers of women being elected in those positions, meaning we have a problem somewhere, and we need to resolve that problem.
In her sentiments, Zomba Malosa MP Grace Kuribata says it is high time the country meaningfully engaged women in electoral and political positions, saying politics is a vehicle that people make decisions and there cannot be sustainable development if there is no involvement of women.
Ministry of Gender always depends on donors, NGOs. If NGOs are not forthcoming, Ministry of Gender is dead. Even if Ministry of Gender can have a roadmap, but usually it's lack of funding. So it's high time government seriously fund Ministry of Gender so that most of these activities that we are talking about can kick off.
Kuribata expressed disappointment on the current representation of women in Parliament, which started with 44 women, but currently there are only 40 women due to death and other political reasons, saying these constituencies were opened up and were taken by men during by-elections, which would be avoided if government could have made a policy that those constituencies should be contested by women only.
News, maybe government could have made a policy that when we were having those by-elections in those people's constituencies, maybe it would have been a government policy that those constituencies should be contested by women only.
The 2022 SADC Gender and Development Monitor observes that the FPTP electoral system Malawi uses produces the least desirable results when it comes to women's representation in politics. Despite Malawi having women in majority at the ratio of 51-49 according to the 2018 population and housing census, few of them make it into political leadership positions. Charity Chilanga, Luntha Television.
One of the education experts in the country, Victor Chikoti, has asked a government to be monitoring the construction of Inkosi Yamakosembera University. In response to Education Minister Madalitso Kambawa Wilima's statement that the university will begin accepting students by 2025, Chikoti stated that government oversight of the construction project is necessary to prevent any compromises being made to the construction process or the quality of education. We'll have more on this report by Angelina Masungura.
On Monday, Kambawa Wilima visited the site of the Inkosi Yamakosembera University project, the first phase of which is expected to cost 190 billion waja, and the project as a whole 450 billion waja. During the tour, Kambawa gave a speech in which she expressed her admiration for the advancements made and gave Malawians the assurance that the institution will begin accepting students by 2020.
The head of state has been mentioning in all the sonas, in all the State of the Nation addresses, but we had to wait for the right time. The process to get to here has been long. There are so many steps that we had to go through, finding funding outside the traditional methodologies which did not work, up to a stage where we had to be innovative enough and look to our own government to get started. So if everything had been equal, that means we would have gotten started on this project 2 years ago, as the State President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera had mentioned in the SONA. But because of challenges that we had, we are here. So this is no campaign to. This is what we wanted. This is what we had wanted to do all along. The President spoke about this several times in Parliament.
Reacting to this, education expert Victor Chikoti said what the government is saying is possible, but then it should make sure that the learning environment is in good condition and that the students should not lack all the necessities that helps in production of a professional graduate. Chikoti has also asked the Nzimba community to safeguard the construction project with an aim of having quality work.
It is my expectation that people of Mberwa will guard this project jealously, avoid any form of vandalism, avoid any form of theft, corruption, and so on. It is these people who should be the first, who should be seeing this project firsthand to, yes, it's delivering as the promise, as the blueprint.
Minister of Education, Madalitso Kambawa Wilima, disclosed that the first enrollment of students to study at the Inkosi Yamakosembera is expected to happen in August 2025, and it will cover 500 students. For Luntha Television, this is Angelina Masongora.
Remember, you're still watching news right here on Luntha Television. We'll be back after the break.
Montfort Media is pleased to inform all its valued customers that the Pope John Paul II cloth, which many were longing for, is back on the market. The price is 12,000 kwacha per 2 meters. It is available in all our bookshops, that is in Balaka, Lilongwe, Dedza, Salima, Mangochi, Zomba, Chitakale, Chikwawa, Lunzu, Mwanza, Kasungu. Please hurry while stock still lasts. Montfort Media, a Christian media house that proclaims good news in order to promote hope, love, justice, peace, and solidarity.
Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, know that it's news time, coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center. Now, a reminder of the headlines.
Francis expresses the importance of taking responsibility in building and ensuring peace in the world. UTM set to declare status with Tonsi Alliance. Malawi to grow more than 250 million kgs of tobacco. And in other news, Nigerian president suspends humanitarian minister over corruption.
Moving forward, Malawi has registered to produce more than 250 million kilograms of tobacco to be grown in 2024-2025 season. This is according to Tobacco Commission Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga, who believes that the season will be better than last year's, which saw the country producing 126 million kilograms. Last year, there was a 55% sales increase of the leaf from 182 to 282 million US dollars. We have more on this report by Robert Edward.
From Monday, teams of experts from the Commission will start first crop estimation exercise to find out the expected volumes of tobacco to be produced this year. But according to the Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga, with the declared more than 250 million kilograms of the leaf to be grown by farmers, the volumes will be much more than last year. He has so far attributed the expected development to last year's milestone, when the country saw a 55% sales increase from the 2022, which is 282 and 182 million US dollars respectively.
For the first time, the growers have registered more than 250 million kilograms to be grown this year. We'll see how much that translates into the actual leaf, but we anticipate that probably we'll have more volume this year than last year. We'll wait, as we speak next week, Monday, we'll go into first estimates to find out how much we're going to reap.
More than 70% of the country's national export incomes comes from tobacco, dubbed the green gold. Recent but last year's tobacco production had declined due to anti-smoking campaign which affected global demand, but the current statistics are proving that the leaf remains Malawi's green gold and its positive trends continues to grow with this year's expected high production. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
The Civil Society Education Coalition, CSEC, has asked the Ministry of Education to ensure that all schools are following cholera preventive measures in this rainy season. Public and private schools have opened for second term of school calendar yesterday. Government, through the Ministry of Education, has been encouraged to promote practices of hygiene in public and private schools in Malawi. We have more on this report by Emmanuel Chocha.
In an interview on Tuesday, Civil Society Education Coalition CSEC Executive Director Benedicto Gondowe has asked government through the Ministry of Education to make sure that the Ministry of Health and city councils work together to fight cholera diseases. Gondowe also encouraged authority in these schools to practice hygiene.
And the health teams must be prepared and equipped, because as the rains are beginning, it is likely that there would be some outbreaks. It may be cholera, but if not, we must put in place measures that will mitigate the potential occurrence of cholera, to make sure that there is no disruption of education. Even where outbreaks arise, steps must be made to make sure that there is expeditious response or mitigation.
In a separate interview, headmaster for Lilongwe-based Mbidzi LES School, Anodi Banda, said most schools in the country are following all preventative measures.
For example, our school in Mbidzi, we have the toilets which are in good condition, and we have the cleaner who always goes to the toilets and make sure that the toilets are clean. Apart from that, we have also a bucket whereby we put water, so the children, they have to wash hands after and before they use the toilet. And around the office, we also have some buckets whereby the children can also use that water.
Last week, the Minister of Health, Kumbizeka Ndodo Chiponda, announced that the government is having a sight-in on the matter. She said even though the cases were minimal, Malawians should not relax from observing the preventative measures. For Luntha TV in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
Lastly, in international news, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has suspended the country's Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation over the use of a private bank account for ministry financial transactions in the government's social welfare program. Beta Edu was suspended with immediate effect while Nigeria's anti-corruption agency carries out a thorough investigation of all ministry financial transactions, presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngerale said in a statement. It also states that the investigation would extend to the entire framework of Nigeria's social investment programs. We have an Al Jazeera report being read by Bernard Mwanza.
President Bola Tinubu came to power last year promising to crack down on graft in Nigeria, despite long-standing question marks around his source of wealth and educational records. Within a month of his inauguration, he suspended the head of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission indefinitely for abuse of office. His government said the suspension follows his commitment to uphold the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in how Nigeria's resources are managed. Edu's suspension comes days after local media cited an official memo in which she directed that 505 million naira, about 663,000 US dollars worth of grants meant for vulnerable groups should be paid into a private account, a decision that the minister's office said followed due process. The minister has denied any wrongdoing. In a country where the government austerity measures have further squeezed millions of people facing extreme levels of poverty, many Nigerians criticized the use of a private bank account for the grants program and called for the minister to be fired. The Office of Nigeria's Accountant General of the Federation said in a statement that such funds are meant to be sent directly from government accounts to the beneficiaries. Meanwhile, Edu's predecessor, Sadia Umar Farouk, reported to the EFCC on Monday as it investigated alleged corruption in the disbursement of public funds during her time as minister. Farouk said on social media that she was at the Commissioner's office to offer clarifications in respect of some issues that the Commission is investigating.
That was Bernard Mwanza reading that Al Jazeera report. And that also marks the end of our bulletin. But before we go, let's have another look at the headlines.
Pope Francis expresses the importance of taking responsibility in building and ensuring peace in the world. UTM set to declare status with Tonti Alliance. Malawi to grow more than 250 million kgs of tobacco. And in other news, Nigerian president suspends humanitarian minister over corruption.
You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha Television, and stay safe.